Hello, welcome back to my channel. Well, first off, my name is Jennifer. Welcome. I've been doing two kinds of videos lately. I've been doing the one kind of video where I have a broken arm and I've had a cast. I've been talking about some complications I've been having with my cast. And I've also been doing videos on this channel about my dog, Bella, who has become paralyzed for an unknown cause. So out of those two videos, this video is going to be an update to my last video about my complications of having a cast. And so this is sort of part 3 of that. So basically, to back up, on May 26th, today is July, probably like July 7th. It's Tuesday after 4th of July. On May 26th, my dog Bella bit me. And when she bit me, she broke my ulna, and it actually kind of broke off like a little bit like a chunk. So there was like two breaks, so it kind of left like this little floating piece. Well, that was, of course, terribly painful. I went to the ER. I ended up getting a splint. I was in a splint, a full arm splint. So my whole arm was, ouch, immobilized for 10 days. And then I went to the doctor, and my other dog had bumped my elbow, which had actually ended up putting the bone back in alignment, which was fantastic. Well, so because of that, I was able to get a full arm cast. If you look at my last video, you could see I had a pink full arm cast. But I started having some weird symptoms. My fingers were very, very swollen. And at first, I was able to move my fingers pretty freely. And as every single day, it seemed like I could move my fingers less. And I was also starting to get more pain in my actual fingers. And when my dog bit me in my, when my dog bumped my elbow, which caused the bone to go back in alignment, I'd had this very, very severe pain occur. And it was weird because it felt like my finger had been slammed in a door. So I had an abnormally high amount of pain when she bumped my elbow and that was like, I would say like day 8 from the injury. So some time had passed. Well, so I had the long arm cast. I did not need to have surgery because of my bone being back in alignment. But as the days were going forward, I was starting to have more swelling in my fingers. Like I said, my mobility was starting to decrease. I was also getting a lot of burning sensation in my forearm, pain in my palm, like a lot of burning sensations. So on day, probably, gosh, I should have looked it up, but probably on day like 3 some odd, about a little over 3 weeks after the initial dog bite broken arm injury, I actually called my doctor, and that's the day I did my last video where I actually wanted to go to the doctor because everything had escalated, so I wanted to get it checked out. Well, so then I also posted a video about them. Before I saw the doctor, they immediately had the cast removed. So you can see the video about my cast removal on my last video. But both videos were taken on the same day. So this is now about a week later today. Well, so they put, they did not do x-rays. They only, so I had to see a different doctor other than the primary doctor that I've been seeing. And he did check me for compartment syndrome. He determined it was not compartment syndrome. Now, when they took the cast off, it's hard to tell in the video, but my arm was definitely compressed. It was extremely small. My hand was a little bit deformed. It was absolutely shocking to see how skinny my arm was, because the problem is my hand had continued to swell. Now, again, my injury was in my forearm, but all my symptoms were really predominantly in my hand. And so I have now been diagnosed with a very rare complication of having the bite injury. And so I have already been diagnosed with a disorder called CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome, which basically means that I'm having an unusually high amount of pain compared to the actual injury. The pain is continuing. I've also lost mobility in my fingers. I've got severe swelling. I've got color changes to my hand. So my hand goes from being like flesh colored. It will turn kind of a yellowish color. It turns bright red sometimes. My fingernails, they'll turn like purple, blue, then back to pink, then kind of really pale. So I'm having color changes in my fingernails. I'm also having weird where my hand will start to kind of like feel either extraordinarily dry or it almost feels like it's sweating. And I can't, so this is my hand. I'm still in a brace because my arm is actually still broken, and my bone has moved again, and so it's no longer straight, but so my bone is broken about here, and so that's still causing me a great deal of pain, but mostly it's my hand. Now, like if you could see, the swelling has gone down a little bit because my fingers, you can kind of see like my fingers aren't touching as much, but during the day they actually swell up more, and so then my fingers will be kind of like stuck together. I can move a little bit. So I've been doing a lot of physical therapy, and I have to like get in the bath, like an Epsom salt bath. I'm able to move my fingers a little bit more, and so when I've been able to get these fingers to be up a little bit more, and like if I really push, I can kind of get my fingers like up a little bit, but this is really straining, and this is very painful. This finger barely moves at all, and my thumb, it can move a tiny bit. I start hand therapy tomorrow. This CRPS, I mean, it's really bad. It's really terrible. I'm really, I would have never guessed that that's what it was. I absolutely thought they would take off the cast, and my hand would be able to, the swelling would go away, and everything would just magically kind of go back to working. And that's not happening. That's not happening at all. I do wear a sling most of the time. My arm, I'm not able to, and my hand hurts a lot right now, but I can go like that far, like out. Now in, I can go about that far, which is better. I have to hold my hand up like this most of the time, or at an angle, or in the sling. But yeah, my hand is not looking, it's not looking good. It's very scary. I have definite nerve damage. I have an appointment with the neurologist. I also have, like I think I just mentioned, I have hand therapy starting tomorrow with the physical therapist. It's a very rare complication of having this type of injury, and apparently it can happen when you have a crush injury or a broken bone, a fracture, or you could get it from even just having like a sprained ankle, and they don't know who gets it, why they get it. It's like a very random complication. But yeah, I just want to give you an update. So it was not, so it was, in my opinion, I think that the cast was too tight, but I don't think that the cast being too tight was the cause of this, because this had already started almost immediately from the injury. I think the problem with the cast is that it started out being like perfectly snug to being overly snug as my hand continued to swell. And then the swelling had nowhere to go, so it compressed some of those nerves. And so hopefully I'll be able to get this in time, be able to get the use of my hand back. Right now, I have not been able to use my hand at all in any way for the full 6 weeks since my injury. So, I mean, I would like to go back to work. I would like to be able to use my hand again. It hasn't slowed me down a lot in terms of, I'm a very determined person. I do everything I normally would do. There's some things that are very, very hard. Things like folding clothes, very hard. I have purchased a few adapted items so I can now pop the top of like the dog food flip top. I have a contraption that helps me do that with one hand. I just bought a contraption that you install underneath a cabinet that you could put a jar in. It's like a V shape, and it's got these little teeth, and you put the jar in and you could twist it, and so you can undo it like a jar lid with one hand. So I'm learning to cope with being one-handed. I'm learning how to write with my left hand. I have changed the settings on my phone so I can text with my left hand, and I also use a lot of like voice to text. So those are just some of like the adaptions. I've learned like what items I can use to do my hair. Because you know, if you think about if you have two hands right now, and if you just like put one hand behind your back or stick your hand in your pocket and then just try to do your normal daily life, you realize that you really can function with one hand. And I'm just grateful I have a hand. I've got this extra hand. I am right hand dominant, but I'm learning to use my left hand. I can drive with my left hand. I can do just about anything. I can bathe myself. I can use the restroom by myself. This is very personal, but I've bought new bras that don't require the clip, that are just like pull on, like kind of like a sports bra type. Yeah, there's really not a lot that I can't do, but I've got the will to do those things. I am very determined. My problem right now is more pain management, because this is a very, 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 very painful condition, and I haven't really seen a doctor that can help me with that. So I'm sort of just watching videos about this disorder and learning like what kind of medications. And coincidentally, I just happen to have some of those medications on hand. And so like hydrocodone, I take like half a pill of hydrocodone. I do a lot of ibuprofen, Tylenol PM at night to help me sleep. So I'm trying to cope. But I have hopefully I would consider myself having a pretty good attitude about this. So even though I'm terrified about it, I have a very supportive family. And so I'm very fortunate. But yeah, that's, and right now, actually the way my hand is, this is the first time my hand has looked like this, but it's only because I've been doing so much physical therapy. Typically, my hand is more like, my whole hand is like scrunched down, and I don't have great control. So it's not like I could just move my fingers like I can't just move my fingers like this and have them stay. They sort of do what they want to do. And I have a lot of muscle contractions and tendon contractions. And so my fingers will often like kind of go into a fist. They never go up by themselves. I force them up. And then now they're kind of sitting higher up, but they do contract more. And I have a lot of contractions, like muscle contractions, like in my thumb, a lot of pain in my thumb, burning, all of the things. And I'm only 6 weeks out. Most people don't get diagnosed with this potentially for years. They'll just be going back to their doctor complaining about pain, and some doctors don't even know what this whole CRPS thing is. So I'm very fortunate to have a diagnosis so early. But the fact that I've already been diagnosed with this, so I was diagnosed with this basically at 4 weeks post-injury, but I was already showing signs of this. I would say within 2 weeks of injury, I was already showing signs. And I actually was documenting my hand movements. And so I'll do further videos now that I know what's happening. I'll do further videos about it. But so if you're in a cast and if you're not able to move your fingers, highly suggest you go to your doctor and let them know. It's best to document this as soon as possible, and to make sure that if you're having swelling, that your cast is not too tight and you have plenty of expansion room, so that you can do what you want to do, the finger exercises. Go on YouTube, find the hand therapy. There's a lot of videos about exercises. You want to move your joints. You want to move every joint in your fingers. You want to, watch the videos. You want to keep your movement up, your thumb. You want to keep it moving, because if you let your fingers get too stiff, you're going to have a lot of issues. But you want to be able to use your hand when your injury is all done. So you've got to be very, very proactive. Even if your doctor doesn't tell you to do this, you should be doing it. The whole wiggle your fingers stuff, it's not enough. You need to move your joints and do like the big movements. Because I watched all the videos. I tried to do that, and my fingers just kept going less and less until they started to curl. And now look at where I'm at. And I'm not saying this is what's going to happen to you, because this is a rare, complication. But this is a rare complication of my injury. It's not a rare complication of a cast. So we need to kind of like differentiate those two, because I don't want you to be scared that this is going to happen to you. But yeah, I definitely suggest those hand movements. So I hope this was helpful. I very much hope, if you have a cast right now, if you have a broken arm, a broken hand, broken anything, I hope you have a very fast recovery. And all I can say is, good luck, and I hope you get better really soon. And thank you for watching. And I'll do another update soon. Thanks. Bye.